Have you ever stopped to think that your own bedroom, the space that should be a place of rest and peace, could be an invisible barrier to prosperity and harmony in your life?
That sounds strange, doesn't it?
But according to the spiritual messages, psychographed by Emmanuel, many of us carry objects, memories, and energies in our bedrooms that attract poverty, evil, and emotional blockages without us realizing it. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover now can truly transform the way you relate to your personal space and consequently your life. Imagine entering your room and feeling a heavy feeling, as if something were draining your energy. Even though everything appears normal to any visitor, this sensation isn't just a figment of your imagination. Emmanuel teaches us that our surroundings directly influence our vibrations, the flow of prosperity, and even our willingness to face everyday challenges. Have you ever been in that situation where even though you're doing everything right, nothing seems to be going right? Sometimes the root of this blockage is right in front of you, in the place that should be your refuge. We often accumulate unimportant objects, memories that hold us back from painful moments, or even broken and useless things, believing they might one day be useful. But what Emmanuel reveals to us is that each item we carry in our personal spaces also carries its own energy. And this energy, if negative or stagnant, can create a field that repels prosperity and opportunities.
Think about it.
If your room is full of clutter or items that no longer serve you, you're not just living with objects. You're living with blockages that can impact your financial, emotional, and spiritual life. And it's not just visible objects that influence the environment. Memories, photos, or any element that evokes feelings of sadness, anger, or frustration can also contribute to a climate of negativity. It's as if each item carries a small, energetic history that accumulates over time, creating a heavy, closed-off space that's unwelcoming to new opportunities. What you'll discover now may surprise you. Many people continue to keep things in their rooms that, without realizing it, are driving away abundance and preventing life from flowing smoothly. The interesting thing is that, contrary to what many people think, it's not necessary to make radical changes or get rid of everything you own. Small adjustments, removing specific items that attract stagnant energy, can already generate a profound transformation. Emmanuel alerts us to this intimate relationship between physical space and personal energy, showing that caring for the environment is, in fact, caring for yourself. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you create space for prosperity, positive feelings, and a flow of renewed energy. Stay with me, because in the next steps, we'll identify exactly which items may be silently bringing poverty and misery into your life. You'll realize that by making a few simple changes, your bedroom can become a true channel of positive energy, directly impacting your luck, well-being, and personal harmony. What Emmanuel teaches us is that caring for the environment isn't just an aesthetic or organizational issue. It's a spiritual practice that impacts the quality of your life on every level. Now, imagine being able to transform your bedroom into a space that truly supports your dreams, prosperity, and personal growth. Think about the impact that small changes can have on your daily life, your mood, your relationship with money, and even the opportunities that arise. What you'll discover below will show you clearly and practically how to identify these elements and begin to consciously eliminate them, paving the way for a lighter, more prosperous life, aligned with the positive energy you deserve. Have you ever noticed how some days just don't seem to work out? Even when you've tried your best and done everything right, it's as if some invisible force is blocking your path, preventing prosperity and peace from reaching you. What you may not yet know is that often this negative energy doesn't come from outside, but is silently present within your own home, and more specifically, in your bedroom. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover may surprise you and completely change the way you relate to your personal space. According to Emmanuel, the messages he conveyed through Chico Xavier's psychography alert us to the profound connection between our environments and our lives. Every object we keep, every disorganized space, and every stored memory carries a vibration. And this vibration can, without us realizing it, attract poverty, evil, and disharmony. Have you ever experienced that feeling of exhaustion upon entering your room, even without having done anything different? This is the direct effect of stagnant energy, which accumulates in places where care and attention should be a priority. Now, let's talk about the most common items many of us carry around in our rooms, unaware that they can be negatively impacting our lives. Think about old clothes, the ones you've kept stored away for years, believing they'll fit or hold some sentimental value. Although they seem harmless, they take up physical and energetic space, blocking the flow of prosperity and preventing new opportunities from entering. And that's not all. Ripped, stained, or unused clothes retain the vibration of the past, bringing back memories of difficult times or limitations we want to overcome. Accumulated trash is another classic example. Bottles, paper, packaging, and useless objects create not only clutter but also an energetic burden that influences your mood, mental clarity, and even your relationship with money. Emmanuel teaches us that a clean and organized environment isn't just an aesthetic issue. It's a channel that allows positive energy to flow, attracting abundance and well-being. And there's no need to be radical, simply eliminating what's no longer useful. Recycling, cleaning, and organizing already makes a noticeable difference in the environment and in your life. Broken or damaged objects also make the list of items we should remove. A cracked vase, a lamp that doesn't work, an electronic device we never use, they all carry stagnant energy, signaling that something in our lives is also blocked. By getting rid of these items, we're not just freeing up physical space, making way for new experiences, new opportunities, and, most importantly, for a lighter, more harmonious energy. And the beauty of this process is that it's simple and fully applicable. It's not about losing possessions or turning your bedroom into a cold, characterless space. Rather, it's about observing, reflecting, and consciously deciding what deserves to remain and what needs to be removed so that the flow of prosperity and harmony can be established. You'll notice that by making small changes, the energy of your bedroom shifts. This directly impacts your financial, emotional, and spiritual life. Stay with me, because in the next few moments we'll delve even deeper into this transformation. Discovering what other seemingly harmless elements may be draining your energy and blocking your path to a full and prosperous life. You'll be amazed at what a few simple changes can do and how you can align your physical environment with the positive energy you deserve. Have you ever felt a strange sense of heaviness or discomfort when entering your own room? Even when everything seems organized and clean, sometimes without realizing it, we keep objects in our personal spaces that carry memories, emotions, or energies that bind us to the past and block the flow of prosperity. What you're about to discover now may surprise you, because Emmanuel, through his messages psychographed by Chico Xavier, warns us about how certain seemingly harmless items can attract poverty, evil, and disharmony into our lives. Stay with me until the end, because what we'll reveal here can completely transform the way you view your own environment. When we think about our bedroom, we often only see the physical aspect, the bed, the wardrobe, the decor. But Emmanuel reminds us that each space is also a channel of energy. Photos of sad moments, memories of people who hurt us, or objects that bring back memories of past frustrations can create a stagnant vibration, affecting not only our emotions, but also our prosperity. Have you ever experienced situations where, even when trying to move forward financially or emotionally, everything seemed to be stuck? Often, the problem isn't outside, but within your own space, reflecting blockages you never even realized. Dried or dead plants are another powerful example. They may seem like mere decorative elements, but they carry an energy that symbolizes stagnation and a lack of vitality. Emmanuel teaches us that the life we cultivate around us directly reflects our own energy. An environment that should be a haven of tranquility and personal growth, when laden with negative memories or elements that are no longer useful, it becomes a space that repels prosperity and well-being. And there are still objects that at first glance no one associates with poverty or negative energy, but which have a subtle and profound impact. Objects linked to debt, frustration, or regret, even if kept without the intention of remembering these moments, maintain a vibration that connects us to past difficulties. It's as if each item carries a small energetic history that accumulates. Over time, creating invisible blocks that interfere with your financial, emotional, and spiritual life. The most surprising thing is that many people keep these items without even suspecting the effect they have. An object that seems neutral can be blocking opportunities, limiting dreams, and preventing new, positive experiences from entering your life, and the power to transform this reality is entirely within your reach. Simply identifying what needs to be removed or replaced, with awareness and intention, creates an open space for prosperity, emotional balance, and energy renewal. Stay with me, because in the next steps we'll explore even more deeply these emotional and surprising items that many of us keep in our rooms without realizing they directly influence our lives. You'll discover how small changes can generate powerful transformation, paving the way for positive energy, harmony, and abundance you might never have imagined possible. What Emmanuel teaches us is that caring for the environment is, in fact, caring for ourselves, a spiritual practice that directly impacts all areas of our lives. And the most fascinating thing is realizing that by eliminating what no longer serves us, we make room for what we truly want to attract: prosperity, happiness, and lightness. Have you ever walked into your room and felt a strange sense of discomfort or heavy energy, even when everything seemed to be in its proper place? It may seem strange, but what you see with your eyes doesn't always reflect what's energetically present in your space. Emmanuel, through the messages psychographed by Chico Xavier, warns us that many of the objects we keep in our rooms may be silently blocking prosperity, attracting evil, and even affecting our emotional well-being. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover now could transform the way you view your own environment, and consequently your life. Often, the most harmful clutter isn't visible clutter, but rather objects that carry stagnant energy or memories that no longer serve us. A very common example, which most people keep without thinking, is old or torn clothing. They may seem harmless, stored in the closet for years, but they carry the energy of past moments, limitations, and situations that should have been left behind. Emmanuel reminds us that our physical environment reflects our inner world, and keeping items we no longer use or that are deteriorating is, in a way, keeping open a channel for stagnation and blockages that manifest not only emotionally, but also in our prosperity. Another example that many overlook is the accumulated trash or broken objects that remain in the room. Bottles, paper, packaging, damaged utensils, or appliances that no longer work may seem like everyday details, but they have a direct impact on the energy of the space. Every useless item that remains in the space accumulates a vibration of stagnation and heaviness, creating a field that prevents prosperity, opportunities, and emotional lightness from flowing naturally. Have you ever had days when it seemed like nothing was going right, even when you tried your best? Often the root of this blockage lies precisely in the space that should be a haven of positive energy, and the good news is that changes don't have to be radical or complicated. Removing old, torn, or unused clothes, organizing objects and discarding what doesn't fit, cleaning the space, and replacing damaged items with something functional or that brings well-being are simple but extremely powerful actions. Emmanuel teaches us that these small actions create space for positive energy to enter and circulate freely, paving the way for prosperity, harmony, and emotional balance. By doing this, you're not just physically organizing your room, you're promoting a true energetic cleansing that directly impacts your life. Stay with me. What you'll discover next goes beyond simple objects. We'll explore other elements in your room that, without you realizing it, may be blocking opportunities and keeping negative energies around you. What Emmanuel reveals to us is that by caring for your physical space with attention and awareness, you are actually caring for yourself, creating an environment conducive to growth, abundance, and emotional renewal. And the most interesting thing is that small changes often yield surprising results, paving the way for a lighter, more prosperous life aligned with the positive energy you deserve. And if you're identifying with everything we've discussed so far, think with me. How many times have we felt like our lives aren't flowing as they should, without realizing that small changes in our environment could make such a difference? If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below with what has touched you most so far, or share an experience you've had related to the energy of your room. Your participation is crucial because, in addition to connecting us as a community, it helps others going through similar situations reflect and feel understood. And if you realize that this type of content can transform the way you look at life and your personal space, don't forget to like the video. Each like is a sign that these messages are reaching those who truly need them, strengthening the reach of this channel and allowing more people to access valuable teachings like those of Emmanuel. It's incredible to think that together, we can create a network of exchange, learning, and positive energy, simply by interacting and demonstrating that this theme resonates in our lives. Additionally, if you'd like to continue following reflections, spiritual teachings, and practical tips to transform your life and environment, subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you're showing that you want to be part of this community, that you value the content and want to grow with it. It's a way to ensure you don't miss future videos, or we'll delve even deeper into these teachings, providing insights that can generate concrete changes in your energy, well-being, and prosperity. Your presence here, liking and subscribing makes all the difference. Each interaction strengthens the message and allows us to continue bringing you content that truly touches the heart, inspires transformation, and helps everyone live more consciously and in alignment. So, stay with me, because we still have much to explore about the items that may be blocking your energy and how you can transform your bedroom into a true channel of prosperity and harmony. Have you ever stopped to reflect on how a space as intimate and personal as your bedroom can, without you realizing it, be interfering with everything in your life? It seems strange to imagine that something so simple, like the place where we sleep, rest, and reorganize ourselves each day, could be blocking prosperity, opportunities, and even our very sense of well-being. But Emmanuel, through the messages psychographed by Chico Xavier, reminds us that the environment we live in is not just physical, it is a reflection of our energy, our mindset, and the decisions we make, even if unconsciously. And what you'll discover now may reveal a hidden truth about your own space, bringing revelations you may never have considered. Stay with me, because this journey isn't just about objects, but about how small everyday details can profoundly impact your life. When we begin to observe closely, we realize that every corner of our room carries stories, memories, and vibrations that accumulate over time. It's common for old clothes, items kept just in case, or broken objects to seem harmless, but they have a silent effect on our energy. Imagine the weight of carrying every day, small reminders of frustrations, defeats, or even habits that no longer serve us. Every piece of clothing we never wear, every broken object that collects dust, maintains a stagnant vibration, creating an invisible barrier that prevents prosperity from flowing naturally. Have you ever felt that feeling that, no matter how hard you try, some results always seem out of reach? Often the source of this blockage is right before our eyes, the very space that should welcome and energize us. And it's not just a matter of organization or aesthetics. The truth is that our room acts as a reflection of our mind and our emotional journey. Objects that carry memories of negative moments or decisions that frustrated us can keep our minds stuck in the past, making it difficult to embrace new opportunities. Emmanuel alerts us to the importance of recognizing these energies because caring for our environment is, in practice, caring for ourselves. It's making conscious decisions that affect our financial, emotional, and spiritual lives. Every detail we remove or transform in our space paves the way for energy to flow, allowing new experiences, opportunities, and revelations to enter more naturally. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic and bring up a point that often goes unnoticed: the relationship between the objects we keep and the mindset we cultivate. It's surprising to realize that the mere presence of clothes we no longer use, accumulated packaging, old papers, or broken items creates, without us realizing it, an atmosphere of stagnation. This subtle energy isn't limited to the bedroom. It's reflected in the way we think, feel, and act in the external world. When an environment is cluttered, the mind tends to repeat old patterns, and important decisions can be influenced by this energetic blockage, even if unconsciously. Emmanuel also invites us to examine the symbolism behind each object. A broken vase, for example, isn't just a damaged object. It can represent unresolved frustrations or dreams that have stalled. A piece of clothing we accumulate out of habit can symbolize lost opportunities or the difficulty of letting go of the past. And so, without realizing it, we allow the energy of stagnation to infiltrate different areas of our lives, affecting relationships, emotional health, and even our ability to thrive. The beauty of this process lies in its simplicity and the immediate impact that small actions can have. By identifying objects that no longer serve us, reflecting on their energy, and consciously deciding to remove or replace them, we create a space that literally breathes. This transformation goes beyond physical organization. It's an energetic shift that influences how we feel, how we make decisions, and how life responds to our willingness and intention. The bedroom ceases to be just a room and becomes a powerful ally, a true reflection of our journey, ready to welcome new experiences, abundance, and balance. And as we think about this, it's impossible not to realize that we often neglect the behind-the-scenes aspects of our lives. We focus on what's visible, what seems urgent, failing to notice that small changes in personal space can yield profound revelations, bringing insights into the habits, mindsets, and patterns we repeat daily. By opening up physical space, we create mental and emotional space, allowing life to move more smoothly, fluidly, and aligned with our truest intentions. So if you're feeling any connection to all of this, I want you to do something simple right now. Comment. This makes sense. To me, sharing your experience, even if it's just a single word or phrase, helps not only reinforce your own perception, but also creates a bridge of connection with others who are on the same journey. Reflecting and learning together about how small changes can have huge impacts on our lives. Have you ever stopped to notice how every corner of your room seems to carry its own energy? As if the objects around you weren't just inanimate objects, but true reflections of your inner state. Emmanuel, through the messages psychographed by Chico Xavier, reminds us that everything we store in our personal spaces can directly influence our emotions, decisions, and even the prosperity we attract. Stay with me, because what you're about to notice may reveal hidden truths about your own environment, bringing reflections and revelations that often go unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. When we think about what makes up a bedroom, the first thing that usually comes to mind is the physical organization, the bed, the wardrobe, the decor. But the truth is that every object maintains a vibration, and objects we no longer use or that carry memories of difficult times can create stagnant energy, influencing not only our mood, but also our mindset and the way we approach important decisions. Old, torn, or years-old clothes may seem harmless, but from an energetic perspective, they represent old habits, past limitations, and missed opportunities. Every time we look at these pieces, even unconsciously, we reinforce patterns that should have been overcome. Another element that recurs in many homes and often goes unnoticed is the accumulation of trash or broken objects. Bottles, paper, packaging, damaged utensils, or appliances that no longer work may seem trivial. But Emmanuel warns us that the stagnant energy contained in these objects creates a kind of silent blockage. This blockage isn't limited to the appearance of the room. It infiltrates our daily lives, affecting how we think, feel, and act, influencing choices, relationships, and even how we handle financial opportunities. Have you ever experienced moments when, even when trying to act strategically, it seemed like something invisible was disrupting the flow of your life? Often, the root of this obstacle lies precisely behind the scenes of your own space, in the objects you keep without realizing their impact on your energy now. I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because it's not just about removing old or broken things, but about understanding the transformation this causes in your mind and your energy field. By eliminating clothes we no longer use, discarding damaged items, and organizing the objects that remain, we're not just physically cleaning the space. We're creating space for energy to flow, allowing new experiences and opportunities to find their way to us. The very practice of consciously choosing what to keep or discard is an exercise in decision-making. In observing what is truly essential, and it strengthens our ability to perceive patterns that previously went unnoticed. It's as if we're opening invisible windows to let the light of prosperity and emotional lightness in, transforming the room into a true channel of balance and well-being. The dynamic between what we leave in our space and how we feel is deeper than it seems. Objects that hold memories of frustrations, regrets, or even moments of doubt carry an energy that keeps us connected to the past. And when the past remains present in this way, it influences the decisions we make, shapes our mindset, and, without us realizing it, creates resistance to abundance and positive change. On the other hand, by implementing small actions of cleaning and reorganization, the transformation is almost immediate. Not only do we feel the space lighter, but our minds become clearer, more open, and more receptive to insights, solutions, and opportunities that previously seemed distant or unattainable. It's fascinating to see how these seemingly simple changes reflect the entire journey of who we are. Cleaning your room goes far beyond aesthetics. It impacts how we approach our goals, how we manage our finances, how we relate to others, and how our energy circulates daily. Emmanuel shows us that every detail counts, and that often true prosperity begins with small decisions we make in the physical space we inhabit. Perceiving these subtleties allows us to peer behind the scenes of our own lives, revealing patterns that can be adjusted to create true, conscious, and lasting transformation. And, as we think about this, it's impossible not to reflect on the cumulative impact of these small choices. Every object we decide to keep or discard, every space we rearrange, every detail we transform in our room directly affects our mindset, our emotional balance, and our ability to embrace life with more ease. The relationship between space, energy, and prosperity is more intimate than we imagine, and understanding this gives us a new perspective on decisions we often make automatically, unaware of their impact on our journey. Comment there. I'm on this journey too. Have you ever stopped to think that not all the objects we keep in our rooms carry only physical value or practical utility? Many of them carry memories, emotions, and patterns that, without realizing it, continue to shape our mindset and influence how we live our lives. Emmanuel, through the messages psychographed by Chico Xavier, teaches us that every space and every item around us functions as a silent reflection of our internal state, and that some of these seemingly harmless presences can be blocking prosperity, bringing harm, and even reinforcing feelings of frustration or insecurity. It's fascinating to realize how something so everyday and common can have such a profound impact, affecting decisions, relationships, and the very energy that circulates in our daily lives. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover now may reveal a hidden truth about your own environment, perhaps even about yourself. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic and bring to light something many people would never imagine. Objects that directly affect our emotions are extremely powerful. Photos that remind us of sad moments or people who hurt us. Memories that carry regrets or disappointments. Dry or dead plants that symbolize stagnation. All of these elements carry an energy that influences the flow of prosperity and emotional balance. Often we go days or even months without realizing that the reason we feel heaviness, difficulty, or blockage lies precisely in these small but powerful presences in our environment. Every object that holds a negative memory, no matter how small, acts as an energetic record, reinforcing patterns we want to overcome, but which continue to silently repeat themselves in our lives. The most surprising thing is that the most impactful items aren't always the ones that catch your eye at first glance. For example, objects linked to debt or frustration, even if they're discreetly stored in a drawer or shelf, carry a vibration that affects how we view financial opportunities and how we handle important decisions. It's as if each piece reminds our brain and our emotional energy of experiences we'd rather forget, maintaining an invisible cycle of limitation and stagnation. It's something few associate with poverty, but Emmanuel warns us about as a true obstacle to prosperity and inner harmony. And it's not just about physically removing objects. True transformation happens when we understand the impact they have on our mindset and emotions. By carefully observing our space, reflecting on the energy each item carries, and consciously deciding what to keep or discard, we open the way for positive energy to enter and circulate more freely. This process generates internal revelations, showing how old patterns and unconscious decisions are reflected in our daily lives. It gives us the opportunity to consciously adjust them. Each object we remove becomes a small victory, a concrete step toward a transformation that goes beyond the physical and extends to the emotional, mental, and spiritual realms. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic and bring up a point few people realize. Objects that seem neutral or harmless can have the most powerful effect on our energy. An item we use out of habit without realizing the emotional charge it carries may be blocking opportunities, creating resistance to change, or reinforcing old fears. The presence of these objects creates a silent cycle, a kind of energetic framework that influences our ability to make assertive decisions and embrace transformations that could significantly improve our lives. Emmanuel invites us to pay close attention to these details, because true prosperity and lightness don't begin with external factors or major changes, but with internal transformation in how we care for the spaces around us. As we reflect on this, we begin to realize that cleaning our environment is also an act of self-knowledge. Every item we remove, every object we rearrange or replace, acts as a mirror of our own journey. It reveals emotional patterns, fears, and blocks that we often don't consciously recognize, but which manifest subtly, shaping our decisions and our daily energy. The relationship between physical space, emotional energy, and prosperity is profound. And every action we take to harmonize our environment is, in fact, a decision that directly impacts our life, our mindset, and our path of growth. And as we understand this process, it begins to become clear that the impact of each item goes far beyond what we imagine. Objects charged with negative emotions or stagnant stories may be silently shaping the way we approach opportunities, influencing our choices and limiting the manifestation of abundance at various levels of life. By opening physical and emotional space, we create fertile ground for changes, revelations, and positive experiences to emerge naturally. It's an exercise in perception, attention, and awareness that, when applied consistently, transforms not only the environment, but also the very way we relate to the world around us. So, if you feel any connection to all this, comment below. I'm on this journey too. Have you ever noticed how our physical space is actually a silent reflection of what happens within us? Emmanuel, through the Messages psychographed by Chico Xavier, shows us that the bedroom, the place where we rest, retreat, and organize our thoughts, carries much more than objects and furniture. It carries energy, stories, emotions, and patterns that can directly influence our lives, our decisions, and even the prosperity we attract. Every corner, every drawer, every item we keep over the years acts as an invisible record, a kind of silent backstage that affects our mindset and our choices. And the most surprising thing is that we often don't even notice these impacts, as they manifest themselves in subtle yet powerful ways in our daily lives. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic and explore the relationship between these objects and the personal transformation they can generate. Old clothes, unworn in years, are not just reminders of times gone by. They carry a vibration of limitation, of opportunities we missed, of habits we insist on repeating without realizing it. The simple act of keeping something that no longer has any physical or emotional use is, in practice, allowing the energy of stagnation to remain in our lives. Each piece we consciously remove, on the other hand, makes room for new experiences, new decisions, and a mindset more aligned with prosperity and balance. This transformation process is subtle, but its impact is profound, affecting everything from how we deal with challenges to how we perceive unexpected opportunities. Accumulated trash, broken, or useless objects also carry an energetic weight that infiltrates our daily lives. Bottles, old papers, packaging, or devices we no longer use are in fact symbols of unfinished cycles and stagnant energy. Emmanuel teaches us that by eliminating these elements from our space, we are promoting a cleansing not only physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. We are freeing ourselves from old patterns and making room for more conscious decisions, for inner revelations that help reorganize our lives and strengthen our mindset toward abundance. It is a true transformation that begins in the environment and reverberates in all aspects of our journey. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic and talk about the items that most impact our emotions in an invisible way. Negative photos or memories, for example, can keep feelings of frustration, regret, or hurt alive, even unconsciously. Dry or dead plants symbolize stagnation, reminding us of missed opportunities or abandoned projects. And objects linked to debt or frustrating situations, often kept out of habit, carry an energy that directly influences our ability to make decisions and attract prosperity. These items are surprising because, at first glance, they seem harmless, but they have a real and powerful impact on our emotional, mental, and even financial lives. It's fascinating to realize that true transformation isn't just about physically removing objects, but about understanding the impact each item has on our energy. Every act of cleaning, organizing, or replacing is an act of self-love and spirituality. By consciously deciding to remove what attracts negativity, we are promoting a silent but profound change that paves the way for a lighter, more harmonious, and prosperous life. This care for our physical space is in essence self-care, a way to align our environment with our truest intentions and the energy we wish to manifest. Each step in this process allows us to observe the behind the scenes of our own lives. We become aware of old patterns, habits we unconsciously repeat, and limitations that could have been overcome long ago. By creating space in our rooms, we open up space in our minds and hearts for revelations, opportunities, and experiences that were previously blocked. This practice helps us understand that prosperity, emotional balance, and well-being don't begin with external factors, but with how we care for our environment and the energies we allow to reside within it. It's a cycle of continuous impact. Each conscious decision to organize and purify our space directly reflects on the mindset, choices, and results we attract in life. And the beauty of this journey lies in the simplicity of the process. It's not about creating a perfect space or eliminating everything we own, but about carefully observing what truly serves us, what strengthens us, and what helps us evolve. By removing what no longer benefits us, we realize that the transformation goes far beyond the physical. It manifests in a feeling of lightness, mental clarity, and alignment with our true essence. Each object eliminated, each space reorganized, creates an invisible bridge between the environment and our inner energy, promoting more conscious decisions, a more open mindset, and the possibility of new experiences emerging naturally. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic and show that this care for space is also an opportunity to reflect on the life we're building. When we understand the connection between objects, energy, and mindset, we realize that every detail in the room can act as a catalyst for change. The decisions we make about what to keep or remove from our space directly influence our impact on the world, our sense of abundance, and how we relate to opportunities and challenges. Real transformation happens when we begin to align the physical environment with the energy we wish to cultivate internally, fostering a conscious journey of self-discovery and evolution. Each item removed is a conscious decision that reflects care, attention, and intention. Each freed space is an invitation for new experiences, opportunities, and revelations to enter our lives. It is in this alignment between the physical and the emotional, between the visible and the invisible. That we realize the power we have over our own journey and the energy that circulates around us. Emmanuel teaches us that caring for space is not just a practical matter, but an act of spirituality, a form of self-love that manifests in subtle yet profoundly transformative ways. So, if you're reflecting on all of this and feel some connection with what we've talked about so far, comment, "That makes sense to me." If you've made it this far, it means this reflection truly resonated with you, and I invite you to continue this journey with me. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content that brings teachings and messages like Emmanuel's, which help transform not only your space, but also your energy and the way you live. Leave a phrase or word in the comments that represents what you felt throughout the video, something like, "I'm with you until the end," or "This message was for me." This way, we can create even greater connection and understand how much this conversation is making a difference in each person's life. If you identified with this and realized that some changes in your bedroom can positively impact your life, please like the video. It's a simple way to acknowledge this energy exchange we've had. It helps reinforce the message we want to convey to more people on this same journey of transformation and self-discovery. And look, if you want to continue exploring this topic, there's a video right here that complements exactly what we talked about today. Click and stay with me there because we still have many discoveries and reflections that can make all the difference in your life and in how you organize your space, your energy, and your mindset.